Hello, Robs. I'm back with more books. But of course I am. This is a extra fat pile because it's from yesterday and today. 2 thrift store trips. Normally I go on Monday and Tuesdays, and I did again this week. But since I'm now working on Monday for some reason, I go before work just because fuck it. I got these 2 issues of Plastic Forks. I don't know what the hell it is. Some kind of graphic novel. I'll probably sell these just because. What the hell am I going to do with them? Thought my kid might like them, but the consensus was I don't care about those books, so there they go. Neil Gaiman, I've started a collection of his books, so Pirates 2 is going in it. It's a hardcover. No, obviously a children's looking book. For 2 pirates in training, Myra the Bold and Sterling the Brave. Jesus. Pirates 2. It's not even about pirates, it's about actual people dressing up as pirates. Or is this like a story? Okay. Not my thing. But I'm collecting them. X-Men Grand Design by Ed Piskor. I've seen this sell for 20 or 30 bucks. I can pick it up for 50 cents and make 20 bucks off it to pay for this whole pile of books. So I'm good with that. That's my plan with that one. Le Mort d'Arthur. I'm guessing something to do with, what's his name? Sir Arthur? I don't know. A rendition in modern idiom by Keith Baines. Introduction by Robert Graves by Sir Thomas Malory. Don't know what this is about, but it's classic. Take my receipt out of there so you don't steal my credit card information. Le Mort d'Arthur, originally published by Caxton in 1485, was the first coherent history of Arthur from his curious birth to his dramatic death. Malory put together a web of history, saga, and religious myth that had been spun in the Dark Ages to make a collection of tales that became a justly famous classic, but because of the elaborate and obscure nature of medieval rhetoric, it has been a book which everybody has heard of, but few have been able to read. The Last Station, a novel of Tolstoy's last year. J. Parini. Poets who write novels are a strange and wonderful breed, in love with language as well as character. In The Last Station, J. Parini has tackled an awesomely ambitious novel and succeeded brilliantly. By 1910, Leo Tolstoy, the world's most famous author, had become an almost religious figure surrounded in his lavish estate south of Moscow. I know people say Moscow, but I've heard people who are actually from Moscow call it Moscow, so. By family and followers alike, set in the tumultuous last year of the Count's life, The Last Station centers on the battle for his soul waged by his wife, Sophia Andreevna, and his leading disciple, Vladimir Chertkov, torn between his professed doctrine of poverty and chastity and the reality of his enormous wealth, his 13 children, and the life of hedonism. Tolstoy makes a dramatic flight from his home. This book I was ill-advised to get, but I don't know. Niels Bohr's Times in Physics, Philosophy, and Polity. The picture of intense argument and excitement of great minds seeking the truth and of their strengths. Well, the real reason I got it was because I needed 13 books, because I usually buy 13. 13 or 15. So if they ask me to round up when I do, they get next to nothing. that's that's literally my whole rationale. Uncle Tom's Cabin, Harriet Beecher Stowe, which I've come to find was potentially written after a book by none other than Eden Southworth. And it was the pattern for the book, supposedly. At least that's what I'm coming across. So when I saw this in the International Collectors Library edition, which is a hardcover, I said, why not get it? Might have to delve into Harriet Beecher Stowe at some point. Focus, fucker. Focus. Battery power 15%. It probably can't focus. Ragdoll Bones, a Northern Michigan asylum novel. This one I plan to sell just because it's selling for 10 or 15 at present, and I will sell it. Try to make some money. I've been trying to sell books recently just because why not make some money to fund my little Southworth project. Soul Food Cookbook. Bought this one also to sell. I see it listed for ridiculous prices on the internet, but I doubt it's worth that. If I can get 10 or 20 for it, I'll take it. Not that I'm going to be whipping up some batches of soul food. This book, I believe I have, The Report on Unidentified Flying Objects by Edward Ruppelt. Hoaxes, Hallucinations, or Spaceships. Report on Unidentified Flying Objects. I think I said I have this book, but I don't know. And for 50 cents, vintage, 50, 60-year-old hardcover with its original jacket. Can't pass it up. The Everlasting Man, G.K. Chesterton. Not sure why I started collecting Chesterton, but must have done it. Considered by many to be Chesterton's greatest masterpiece of all of his writings. This is the whole view of world history as informed by the incarnation. As I said, I have no clue why I started collecting this guy, but I thought that some of his books were worth money, but I haven't sold any of them, so I guess they're not. Robert Frost, 3 books. Never liked Robert Frost. And I have no excuse for buying this book, other than it was 50 cents. And you never know. I might need to read a poem by Frost. 3 of his books are contained therein. I don't know how many other books I have of his, but I do have a few. The Dictionary of Misinformation, a miscellany of misinformation, misbelief, misconstruction, and misquotation. Let's see an example of this. First settlement in New England. Plymouth was not the first settlement in New England. In 1607, long before the famous 1620 landing, a colony numbering 120 persons was established in the mouth of the Kennebec River in Maine under the leadership of George Popham. It did not, however, last. A combination of circumstances, including the hard winter and the death of 2 of the colony's chief sponsors, resulted in an abandonment of the next year, but it remains the first New England colony to be established, short-lived though it was. Exciting stuff. Forest of the Night. I like owls. I love owls. And this is apparently about colonial. Oh, look at that. The fucking spine just snapped right off there. That looks like I'm not selling this one. That was weird. Handled this book 3 or 4 times and it didn't fall off before. Serving action and the dark hypnotic power distinguish this novel, which depicts the Tennessee frontier of 1802, the crude, scattered settlements like islands of brawling vitality. Yeah, my child lives in Tennessee and perhaps will want this book someday. I don't know. But it's now basically a dead book since the spine just came loose from the binding. What's going on with this light up here? Oh, I see. This is bug shaking it. I don't like how it's pulsing. Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar Allan Poe complete poems. I probably have his complete poems already, but I don't know. I think most I have his stories, but I don't know what I have and what I don't. But it didn't pull up on the scan, so I must not have this book. The Royal Card to Card Magic. The Royal Road to Card Magic. I know I have this book. I just don't know if I have this edition or if it's in this great a shape. It's obviously about card magic, but which I have zero interest in, quite frankly. But I do have interest in playing cards, since playing cards were basically the first books. What year is this? 1949, 1981. Yeah, it's a nice copy. Paperback. Critique of Pure Reason by Immanuel Kant. I don't care about Kant, but Kant's a moron. But we will not hold it against him, as he is a widely read author. Greatest Mysteries of the Unexplained, the compelling collection of the world's most perplexing phenomena. What's this? I see something back here. Oh no, what is it? Refer friends, earn up to $500. Don't recall where I got this book, but good subject. Bought this today for $2 for some unknown reason, because it's got all these were $2 a piece, I believe. No, these were $2.29, but those are actually worth it. This one I bought at a thrift store for $2 because it's about werewolves and it's vintage and it's hardcover, probably first edition. Yes, it's first. Might be a good book, though. I saw a couple copies sold. Oh, that's nice. Some water damage on there. Not what I wanted to see, but there we go. These. I found this book first at the Goodwill, and I somehow missed all 3 of these other ones, but they're modern library editions, probably from the 40s or maybe earlier. Yeah. 66, well, not even close. Anyway, they're from the 60s. I guess I should have known that from the Hudson sticker, which is from definitely the 60s or 70s. But yeah, these are easily $20 books. As much as I like the copies, I might like the $20 better, since I'm not getting into a modern library edition collecting thing. Not yet, anyway. Although I have quite a few of them. As you can see, somebody was a Russian writer, collector, Most of these modern library editions do not retain their dust jacket, or they do in piecemeal form where they're torn to shreds and not in the greatest condition. These are all very nice books for $2. Probably, I don't know. I didn't look these up to see their value, but it's probably not cheap, especially copies in this grade of condition. Get off there. Yeah, these are very nice editions. All purchased in Detroit stores, as you can tell by the Hudsons. $2.45 back in the day. 1956. Check off. Yeah, I think that's all. Goodbye, Robs. Goodbye.